Hello, Happy New Year, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities in case you missed it for January 2023. Here, I gather up some weird and offbeat stories that mostly happen throughout the current month that you might not have heard about. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it. We're starting off with something wholesome and feeds everyone's inner child. This past Christmas, a young girl found a partially eaten cookie and carrot sticks that she left out for Santa. The girl sent the cookie and carrots to the local sheriff, who then requested the Rhode Island Department of Health to do some testing. Well, this month, the testing has come back, and the Rhode Island Department of Health had this to say. We all agree that there might be something magical at play, but we found no complete matches to anyone in the combined DNA index system. But there was a partial match to a 1947 case centered around 34th Street in New York City. For those of you who don't know, this is a reference to the movie Miracle on 34th Street. We would need more DNA samples from other known Santa encounters to make a definitive match. The DNA on the carrots, however, matched Rangifer tarnatus, better known as reindeer. While it might be silly to some, I feel this is a nice way to help a kid stay a kid for a little bit longer. Now, on to a couple of kids who will most likely make the naughty list this year. A 13-year-old girl and an 11-year-old boy decided to channel their inner public era gangsters and go for a joyride. A joyride that saw them reach speeds up to 100 miles an hour in a Nissan Pathfinder. Luckily, state troopers were able to deploy stop sticks and disable the Pathfinder without harming the kids. While searching the Pathfinder, state troopers found a gun, marijuana, and other drugs. The kids are now in protective custody, and it's no word on what the heck they were trying to do, where they were going, or how they got the Pathfinder to begin with. So, people enjoy their booze. Some enjoy it so much they're able to tell when something isn't quite right. And when it's not right, they make a fuss. And for the Sazerac company, this fuss is coming in the form of a lawsuit. Sazerac is known for making Fireball whiskey, and they're being sued for fraud and misrepresentation. As it turns out, there's many bottles of whiskey called Fireball Cinnamon. The bottles are about 99 cents, and keen tasters have come to find out it contains no whiskey. It has whiskey flavoring, and also, according to booze hounds, it's overpriced at 99 cents for not having any whiskey in it. There are certain things you simply don't toy with in this world, and someone's alcohol is one of them. Chances are, though, the lawsuit will get tossed considering on the bottles it does indeed say whiskey flavoring and not whiskey itself. In Tukwila, Washington, police are hot on the trail of a thief, and lucky for the cops, the thief left behind some hot evidence. So hot it's steaming. The thief went to a community center in Tukwila and rummaged through personal belongings, finding and stealing a laptop and iPad. Before departing with the goods, the thief decided to leave behind something of a gift. They took a dump in the sink. However, this could be their undoing, as cops say they can get DNA from the gift left behind and track them down. However, they also said more than likely they'll find the person because the idiot merged the account on the stolen iPad with their own personal Apple account. this guy is clearly no Frank Abagnale Jr. If you don't know who that is, look him up. Cops have asked the person to just turn themselves in to cut back on the hassle, or otherwise there will be a knock on the door and it won't be the pizza man. Florida man Dale Mitchell Scotty made a stop at a bank's ATM. Everything was going perfectly smooth until the machine decided not to give back his card. So Dale did what any sane person would. Not go into the bank and ask for assistance, but instead yell curse words and shake the mess out of the ATM. When that failed, he did the best thing he could think of, which is also not going into the bank to ask for assistance, but to go back to his truck and grab a hammer, and then proceed to beat the mess out of the ATM until it gave him his card back, which at that point, it did. After doing this, Dale got into his truck and took off home. Cameras caught the license plate of his truck, and later in the day, Dale received a knock on his door, and it was the cop. He reportedly asked them if this was about the ATM thing before he was taken to jail and released on a $2,000 bond. This is Mark Lane Herman. And Mark Lane Herman is also a Florida man. And like most Florida men, he did something really dumb that has earned him a stay behind bars with his soon-to-be best buddy Bubba. So, what put Mark behind bars? Revenge. Apparently, Mark had a disagreement with the HOA, as many do, about fees owed, which the HOA claimed to be over $28,000. If those fees weren't paid, then Mark's condo would be foreclosed on, which honestly is ridiculous. Why doesn't HOA have that much power? Well, needless to say, Mark didn't come up with the money and his condo was auctioned off. Mark decided he's going to get some revenge on the HOA by dousing his condo in gasoline and setting it ablaze. The fire caught and spread throughout. The fire department and paramedics were called, and when they came across Mark, he admitted to doing it. And strangely enough, he was covered in blood. The reason for this is because he shot himself in the neck. There has been no information as to why he shot himself in the neck, though. So now, with that all done, Mark's stay with Bubba could have been avoided if he didn't stay in a place with the HOA. Funnily enough, the HOA now has to pay more money than Mark owed due to damages caused by the fire. So I suppose there's a little poetic justice in there somewhere. And that concludes In Case You Missed It for January 2023. Thank you all for watching, and if you have your own offbeat stories, feel free to share it with us in the comment section down below, or share it with us on social media. You can find those links in the description below. Thank you all again for watching, and we will be seeing you in February.